Hello, my amazing artist. In this project, you will learn how to transform a cardboard circle into the illusion of a 3D disco ball. You will have creative freedom in the way you paint your disco ball and even how you draw your lines. So let's get started. So looking at a disco ball, it is a 3D form. It is a sphere. And if you look closely, there's the little tiles that divide the sphere. We are going to try to create the illusion of a 3D sphere on our paper. So to begin, we're going to do some practice today. It's always best to practice our drawing before we go to our final copy. Practice paper, make sure you write your name and class code. Then to begin, I want you to trace 2 circles on your paper. This way you get 2 practices. You could even flip it over to the back and have 2 more for a total of 4 practices. In class, you will get a guide that has some examples and ideas of ways you could draw lines on your circle to make it look 3-dimensional. There are many ways to do this, so I want you to practice today and choose your favorite. To begin, I find it's easiest to draw a straight line right down the middle. This is a vertical line, a line that goes up and down. Next, I'm going to draw my lines to the left of the line, of the straight vertical line, and to the right of the straight vertical line. I'm going to begin by drawing some curved lines to the left. So it's kind of like a really tall, skinny C. I'm just curving them from the top to the bottom. And then I repeat, but I'm going the other direction. So I'm going out to the right. Now I'll draw the horizontal lines, the ones that go side to side. And I'm going to start with a pretty straight line in the middle, and then I'm curving up, and then I'm going to curve down. So see how my lines on the top part of that straight line are curving one direction. Lines on the other half are curving the other direction. That is just one idea. And again, I just followed the handout to help me with this. For my other practice, I'm going to start the same way. So I draw a straight vertical line down the middle, and then I draw my curved lines to the left and to the right. Now I'm going to draw some arches. So I'm starting at the bottom with my arches closer together, and then as they move up my circle, they're going to spread farther apart. This will give it the illusion that it is a 3D form and it actually is taking up space. You could also experiment drawing your curved lines the other direction. So these lines remind me of like a smiley face. And same rule, I'm going to have the smiley face arch close together and then farther and farther apart as they move down my circle. Either way, I want you to experiment with drawing your lines on paper first. When you have chosen a way and a style that you like, then you can get a cardboard circle and draw your lines on here. The cardboard circle, I repeat the same process, but obviously this circle is a lot bigger. So notice if I have more lines, my tiles will be smaller. If I have less lines, my tiles are bigger. You will be painting each of these tiles. So think to yourself, would you rather have bigger tiles or smaller tiles or maybe a medium size? All right, friends, after you have drawn your lines, you're going to start painting. The goal here is to paint each of the tiles individually and to use a variety of colors so that it is interesting. To begin, I'm going to paint some of my tiles white. I'm painting the white tiles first because it's really hard to make a dark color lighter. It's easier to start with a light color and then work to a darker color. So I'm just picking a couple random white ones around the center of my disco ball because this is where it's going to be coming forward the most. When our eye looks at colors and we take in the light of different colors, colors that are light and bright appear to come forward. Colors that are dark and deep tend to recede or go farther away. So the spots that you want to look like it's coming forward and look 3-dimensional should be nice and light and bright colors. You could even just use white if you wanted. And the spots that you want to be receding or going back, those are going to be your dark and deep colors so that they recede. So notice I am painting my light and bright colors right now, and I'm really spreading them out so that I don't have them right next to each other, but instead they're balanced, and there's going to be a variety of different colors all throughout the disco ball. So for this example, most of my light and bright colors are towards the center or even the left of the disco ball, and my darker and deeper colors are towards the right side. How you do this is completely up to you, artists. There really is no right or wrong way to do this. I have a handout for you with different examples from the artist Sari, and you can look at that to give you some ideas of where you might want to place your colors. Have fun with this, experiment. I'm so excited to see what you make. Once you have painted all of your tiles, we're now going to use chalk pastel to add some highlights and some shadows to each of the tiles. So try this. Have a white chalk pastel, add a little bit to one of the tiles. You could also use a lighter value of the tile, of the color of the tile that you're working in. Just add a little bit, rub it with your finger, and voila, you already start to see how that lighter value of the tint is making that part pop forward. I recommend starting with white because, like we learned, it's a lot easier to start with a lighter value of a color and then work to a darker value. Also notice how I'm just laying down a little bit of the chalk in a couple of the tiles, and then I'm going to go and use my finger and rub out the chalk to make it more smooth and blend in with the paint that I've already laid down and that has dried. To keep this looking nice, I'm only blending the yellow tiles because the chalk is now on my finger and I don't want to mix up the chalk colors. After you are done with one of the colors, like yellow for example, you can wipe off your finger on a paper towel, then apply a new color and repeat the process. So lay down the color to a couple of the tiles. Once you've done laying it down, rub those out to make them blend and look smooth. Lastly, wipe off your finger to make it clean again and repeat the process with a different color of chalk pastel. Now you can also use chalk pastels to create some shades. So get a darker value of the color that you're working with in that tile, and on the opposite, maybe corner or side of the highlight, add the darker value to create some shade. This will create further dimension in your artwork. It will create the illusion of form, and it's just going to look really cool. So today I want you to experiment with chalk pastel to create different highlights or tints of a color. That's when you add white to a color, and different shades of a color. That's when you add either the darker value of that color, or you could experiment with adding some black to your tile. That is up to you, artists. There really is no right or wrong way to do this. Chalk pastel is really fun. It is very messy, so make sure you have a paper towel there to clean off your finger. And then, of course, we will have to clean our work mats when the class is over. For the final step in this project, I'm using oil pastels to further define the lines that I had drawn to create the different tiles. So right here, I'm literally just outlining like a square a couple of the tiles. I find this gives it further dimension and it just makes my colors pop and have nice contrast. Artists, this is up to you how you wish to choose the chalk pastel and oil pastel to create your 3D sphere. I cannot wait to see what you do. As you can tell from my examples, I tried lots of different things. There is not one right way to do this. So for this project, have fun, take chances, and stay curious.